Good morning. In 1954, Senator Joseph McCarthy was the chief counsel during the Army-McCarthy hearings in the U.S. Senate and was investigating in Hollywood and New York City theaters for suspecting communists who were directors, actors, actresses, and even playwrights. And if so they were, then they would be kicked out of their careers. Marvin Porter happened to be an uprising new playwright in Brooklyn. And unfortunately, he was one of those so-called communists. And Senator Joseph McCarthy and lawyer Roy Cohn kicked him out of his playwright career. Later on in his life, Roy Cohn happened to be Donald Trump's lawyer in the early 1980s. And Roy taught all of his tricks over to Trump. And Marvin Porter in 1963, he was in a small apartment, all alone, and having only one brother, and he hadn't spoken to his mother ever since Roy Cohn and Senator McCarthy kicked him out of being a playwright and ruined his life. Sammy walks through the doorway and Marvin follows her and shuts the door. Within 15 seconds or less, Baxter and George enter into the apartment, seeing the abandoned dining table. "Marvin! Sammy!" George knocks on the bedroom door and enters. "Marvin? They're not in there." If they were, what a surprise would that be? And they wouldn't be doing laundry now. George takes a closer look of the food on the plates. "I'm a little hungry. Is there any more of this?" "Why, yes. It's in the oven, and I'll be right back." Baxter picks up the 2 plates on the dining table and carrying them into the kitchen, and George walks over to the piano, and his fingers hit a few piano keys. "Do you play?" "No, I wanted to once." "What stopped you?" Life stopped me." Baxter enters carrying 2 clean white glasses in one hand and places the plate of food on the table. He pours wine in both glasses. "How did life stop you?" I wasn't the apple in my father's eye." That is a very sad, poetic verse. And is there any more? "Yeah, but it's in the past." George starts eating and Baxter sips his wine. "What was your father like?" "You know something? You're damn nosy, you know that?" "Not really. We're only having a conversation, aren't we?" "No, it's more like an interrogation. I ask you a question, and you answer me, and then we switch around, and that is the democratic way, don't you think?" "I'm a Republican." "Oh, that explains it. How does it taste?" It tastes better than it looks. Republicans, I guess, aren't all that bad after all. Since when do scallops become political? Everything is political, and your father was too. And he probably voted for Richard Nixon. Am I right? You're being a pest, you know. Yes, he hated JFK. He despised his family because they were wealthier than him, and you had to know him to understand his ways. Whoa, what were his ways? He was quiet most of the time, but after he had a few shots of Jack Daniels, he became loud, and he was a bitter man. He thought he was always right, and my poor mother couldn't get a word in otherwise, because the more she tried, he only just got a little louder. Marvin and I would be lying in bed at night, hearing their arguments from the kitchen, and she soon would run into their bedroom crying, and he would beat at the door, cursing her as we covered our ears trembling. Marvin never told me any of this. I haven't talked about it for many, many years either. Perhaps it is time to talk, don't you think? Without my mother, it would have been unbearable. How did he treat you? I remember the day I came home after school and saw a piano in the dining room. My mother rented it and put her arms around me, saying she wanted me to learn how to play. My father soon came home and saw me sitting at the piano, and he said, "What the hell is that? No son of mine is going to be playing a goddamn piano." The piano was gone the next day. Did you say anything to him? Yeah, I did. But he never listened, and he said to me, "Find a job that pays, and all piano players are fags." What a bugger to say to you. One of my teachers got me into their choir class. Short time later, my mother dragged our neighbors down to the school to hear me sing. You're a singer? Was a singer, but only for a very short time. Did you enjoy singing? Yeah, but I was no Frank Sinatra. Did you ever sing solo? Yeah, a few times, but it wasn't anything special. How did the audience react when you sang? Well, all right, I guess, but they didn't throw any fruit or vegetables at me. The thing that mattered most to me was not embarrassing my mother in front of her friends. I'm working on a musical score for a play, and I would like to hear you sing a song for me. I'm the wrong guy. I'm no singer. Really, I haven't sung for years. I'm just a cop. That's what I am. You said your mother bragged about you. Yeah, that was then. But now I sound like a frog. Singing is like riding a bicycle. You never forget it. Pedaling is one thing and singing is another. What is there to lose? There is no audience to boo you here. Baxter, I don't even sing in the shower. Let me sing a few lyrics for you. It goes something like this. I stand here with thoughts to clear, I never thought that things could change between us, Arthur. We were young and full of life and full of dreams we acted out together, Arthur. Our hearts they bled as one, while our souls reached out to catch the sun. We had all the time to spare. We did not care. We did not care. I can't. You're the talent, and I'm a cop. What is wrong being a cop? I didn't say that. Your tone does. I didn't say anything like that. Oh, but you did. You're not happy. I don't have to be happy to be a cop. See? You admit it. Are you telling me that I don't feel good being a cop? Yes, precisely. I see it in your eyes and in your tone of words when you say, cop. Why are we talking about this? We go from singing to me to being a cop. Why? Do you like arresting homosexuals? If they're breaking the law, I do my job. My question is, do you like arresting homosexuals? What kind of question is that? Do you like arresting men who dance and kiss each other? No! Why don't you? I don't know. I just don't like it. Why, George? I do like arresting criminals who steal or kill. But rounding up men holding hands and crying on their way to the city jail, I mean, it isn't my favorite thing to do. I'm not a lawyer. I'm just a cop. When your father told you to get a job that pays and not to be a pianist for fear of being a fag, that probably is why you're not a happy cop. Are you calling me a fag? What do you think, George? Am I? The front door suddenly opens with Marvin's and Sammy laughing, and their clothes are wet from the rain outside.